We'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of the Gafford and Brown Show. I'm Lamar Gafford.
I'm Robert Brown.
And we have... And basically today we're just going to be talking about, what happened in the college football world, NFL, basically every single, what we normally go through every single week. Probably a little bit about the NBA preseason and everything else that's also going on along in the sports world today. I guess the first thing that we really have to say is that game that between the Broncos and the Cowboys last Sunday. That game was just amazing. That game was just all that and more and everything else.
I just got one question, Lamar. Did it hurt?
Yeah. It hurt. It hurt. It really hurt. It really hurt me. It really hurt me. But we're just going to go ahead and just pretty much lead on up to it. Game just had every single thing that you could have asked for. Points, you wanted points, you had points. If you wanted a quarterback shootout, you had that. You wanted sorry defenses, you kind of had that one as well, though, too. But you also had some plays, people making big-time plays whenever they needed to go out there and go ahead and do it. Since your team won the game, I'll let you go ahead and start first. What was your take about this game?
Well, I mean, you give up 48 points, you're really not too ecstatic. But, the old saying, a W is a W. But, I mean, you live to see another day. I'm fine with the win, but, I mean, it's so many question marks. I mean, I didn't sleep on Dallas. I knew Dallas would come in and want to play, with all the hype around the game and, us being undefeated, Denver being undefeated and just all that on the line. But I wasn't expecting that type of game from Tony Romo, who played the game of his life. I take away some bright points, Peyton Manning in the offense still being able to move down the field at will, come from behind. Denver still being a second half team. Defense, man, gosh, you can't win a Super Bowl with that. I mean, I think about the Saints in 2010 team.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have the greatest defense ever, but they got takeaways when needed, plus the bounty, motivation.
Right.
Allegedly, whatever. But, but I think we are missing our number one pass rusher in Von Miller. Champ Bailey's still out, even though, I don't think he would have done too much difference coverage-wise against Dez and company. I mean, he probably would have helped with Morrell, but,
right.
I'll be looking with rose-colored glasses if I thought he was going to stop Dez Bryant. But I just have to give props to Dallas, though, man. Dallas put up one hell of a fight. I've been telling people for the last 4 years that they have the tools in place to be one of the elite teams in the league. It's just they just can't finish.
And that was the main problem that I probably have about this game. Like, speaking of, every single thing that Tony Romo did, you asked for him to go out there, throw 500 yards, throw for 5 touchdowns. He did a great job in doing such. But it comes down to that one big mistake late in the game. It's just that crucial mistake that basically killed everything. That it just kind of negated, in most people's eyes, that whole 500-yard, 5-touchdown performance.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I hate it to have to be like that, but it kind of is what it is. Now, a lot of people have been giving him 100% of the blame. I'm not giving him 100% of the blame. I probably give him about 10% because in that case, you shouldn't throw that pass and you shouldn't throw an interception that late in the game. 40% kind of goes to the coaches, 50% goes to the defense because guess what? You give up 50 points, you're going to lose the game.
Yeah, and you force Romo to throw 36 times, he's going to throw a pick in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about the interception, that was a hell of an athletic play,
Right.
He pretty much, did everything he could to catch that ball. I mean, Granted, Romo, I mean, he was staring the guy down, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was a pretty good athletic play. But it's tough. Clarence, jump in here right quick, man. Just
Yeah.
give us your thoughts on that game.
He stared him down, all right. I watched the play again. He threw it in triple coverage. You know that? I mean, because the check down, if I'm correct, the check down was there. He could have just went to the check down. I mean, it was the second and 13 or something like that. So you obviously would have to have had a third down coming off the 2-minute warning. But yeah, that was just bad game management there. Pass again. He fit in passes in the windows like that all game, but it's just that one was just one of those ones you wish you had on the string. You yank it back and try it again. But other than that, it was a good game. And as far as for Denver goes, I mean, their defense, I believe, against the pass, they're 32nd. They're ranked last, and I think Peyton Manning has saw this before in Indianapolis. And right now the same formula holds. If obviously, unless they decide to play well during the playoffs, that game might hear one of those up-and-coming AFC teams that might send them home sometime in the round because of that defense. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. And one thing with Champ Bailey, weird thing is, he hasn't been back since that AFC Divisional Championship game, and we all know what happened to him in that game. So,
Burnt City.
I don't know if it was from that smoke Torrey Smith gave him for all these years that he ain't come back yet or not.
Up in smoke. But yeah, you make great points, man. Like you said about the Colts comparison. That's perfect. I'm starting to get worried though at the fact that, like you said, Peyton's going to have to keep this pace going, and you think he's 37 years old. He threw a pick that last game, his first pick of the season. Peyton Manning's bound to have one game where he's just going to have at least 4 picks. It's going to be he's got a bad game coming. So, you hope he gets it out of his system before the playoffs come.
Right.
And then, I mean, I've said this since week 3. So when everybody started jumping on the bandwagon, we started getting our coverage. I think Kansas City is going to be our first loss. Out of Kansas City, if not Kansas City, I think the Colts will be one of our first losses right there. They can run the ball. We know Kansas City has a stingy defense. I don't think they're going to keep us to 11 points, but
Right.
they have a stingy defense and a running game, and the Colts have a running game as well. And Andrew Luck, I'm not saying he's Tony Romo, but I'm pretty sure he can score some points. So right now I'm looking at those 2 losses, and you never know what else can happen. Any given Sunday, but. Yeah, I'm pretty worried about that defense because it looks like nothing changed from last year if you think about that Baltimore game and that blown coverage.
Right. I pretty much have to agree with you. I really think that if at all anything, I think it's going to be Kansas City, mostly because the division, the way that they've been playing really so far. And like we said, Alex Smith, of course, he's not, top 10, maybe not even close to probably even a top 15 quarterback, but the guy knows how to manage the game. And if he can, ball control, all of that about, hold Peyton and give him as less time as he can possibly can. I know in some cases that it doesn't work that much because look at Miami a couple of years ago. But if he can just ball control and all that stuff, not make mistakes, who knows? Kansas City possibly can go out there, give the Broncos that one loss, and give them that motivation, too, to keep on going forward. When you think it's going to be their first loss, Clarence?
Look at the Colts. It's be a very emotional game for Peyton. I think, I think this season's looking too familiar to me right now, and I have linked correlation. I've said it before between these 2 fellas, which right now history has somewhat linked together, and that's Peyton Manning and Brett Favre in 09. Favre had that season in 09. I think Favre went 2 or 3 games into the season before he threw his first interception. It was quite a while there. Yeah, gotta be Indy. Let's not forget about New England. I mean, let's not forget about Belichick's teams who always know what to do with Peyton here. But the question is, I guess, for Belichick, does he have the defense to do so?
Right.
Stay tuned. Yeah, Rob. I see 3-13 at least probably this team. 12. No, excuse me, 13-3 at the most.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
I see
I feel
13-3.
you, though.
Yeah, 13-3
Yeah.
at the most with this team. I think New England, Indy, one of the Kansas City losses. If not one of those, you could throw San Diego loss in there, but Philip Rivers, Jesus Christ, he would have to play a game of his life to do the same thing. I don't know if he has that capable. So, yeah, probably just 3 losses. I just think like 13. Anything more than that, I wouldn't be surprised by this. I don't think it's that high.
Yeah, most definitely. So, going on to some more of the games that actually happened this week, and none of them really pretty much toted the candle to the Broncos-Cowboys game. But we're going to try to attempt to at least go to some of these games here, and especially with we had two previously undefeated teams that lost on the road. One of them, the New England Patriots, losing to the Cincinnati Bengals 13-6, and up with it goes Tom Brady's 52-game streak with a touchdown pass.
That's the shocking part. The fact that he didn't throw a touchdown pass. Them losing, not so much. I think Cincinnati's a good team. The perfect type of team you want to go against, that you will pick to beat this type of New England team. They're physical. They have an offense that has potential to be explosive, but normally they're around the 13, 21 point range, and they're physical enough to where they can keep Brady in check. Also, look who Brady throwing to. These guys right off the street. And you saw that. Like the play. I want to say it was the fourth quarter. The guy basically caught the ball, but it looked like a catch, but he couldn't keep the possession. He couldn't keep it. And you think back, wow, if that was Gronk or Hernandez or hell, even Moss,
right?
That would have been sick. Out there right now, they're probably kind of thinking about it. Damn, we should have gave Randy a phone call. But I think that game to me was I definitely saw that game as being a loss for New England. I wasn't shocked. I was shocked more so by him not throwing a touchdown pass. But the Saints better hope. I think next week the Saints should hope they see that type of game from his receivers again, because a pissed off Tom Brady is not Tom Brady I want to play again.
Oh no, not at all, and especially with that game. I don't know how I feel about the Saints right now. It's their chances of winning this game, and I'm pretty sure we'll get to our picks a little bit later too. But it just was shocking to see him, not get the touchdown of that. Rain had a lot to do with it too. The conditions had a lot to do with it. I think on that last drive it started raining a little bit more, so that kind of hurt everything too. But it looked like the Patriots offense, they weren't in sync at all. 248 yards of offense, 2 turnovers. Brady had a hard time really getting things going, and also it was an under 50% day for him. So yeah, it is tough right there. But like you said, Tom Brady's gonna be pissed off in this game and in this next game. So what you guys say, Clarence?
You hope so, but excuse me. With the I guess that touchdown streak, it kind of figures, though I was just surprised that it ended in Cincinnati of all places. I thought, we were getting somewhere else, but yeah, the New Orleans New England game is gonna be a very interesting game.
It will.
I think one thing is Ken Belichick somehow Brady's into making a few mistakes, and can the Patriots somehow get to the end zone and score on those mistakes? Other than that, just think that that touchdown streak was going to end anyway. So I think Brady will start doing 60 games later. We'll say the same thing, but New England just defensively, that's what it looked like this team that I have to do. That's got to start maybe go back to playing that smash mouth defense that they used to play. I don't think they have the people to do so, but Brady until he gets somebody. Nothing's gonna happen. I don't know why Belichick had to reach out to Ray Moss either, but somebody did.
Well, let me ask you both this: of the two previously undefeated teams, New England and Seattle, which one really surprised y'all the most?
I wasn't shocked Seattle lost. I think I picked Indy to win that game because we all know Seattle isn't the same Seattle on the road that they are at home, and also that offense. The offense Seattle has is efficient, but they don't. To me, they don't score enough points at times.
Mm.
And I think Indy had the perfect game plan for them. Andrew Luck, who's shown that he can really stretch the field. I remember people had questions about him doing that. He's proven a lot of people wrong with that. And also, they have a running game now, and they have the perfect recipe to beat Seattle. I wasn't shocked with Seattle losing.
Right.
And I'm actually, glad some of the momentum got out of Seattle because they have a lot of new bandwagon fans coming out the woodworks. I have never seen a Seattle Seahawks fan. Even when they had the Super Bowl run, I didn't know any Seattle Seahawks fans.
Man, yeah.
Now they're everywhere. But
Seahawks.
yeah, it definitely makes their division interesting. And let's talk about the NFC West for a minute because the NFC West was a division that we picked a lot. I was one of the people that thought all 4 teams were going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with the St. Louis Rams. Who, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they're too.
I don't know what's wrong with. I thought this was going to be the year they come back to.
They're horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah, the Cardinals still like the same Cardinals from last year with Carson Palmer.
They're horrible, and they might kick themselves really badly because right now they still have no first-round draft pick because of the RG3 thing. And right now,
Right.
You might be looking at Sam Bradford. I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah, and then the Niners are finding their way, and this is a perfect segue into the San Francisco versus Houston game.
Yeah.
Pretty much we saw the undoing of Matt Schwab. You know what you think? Matt Schwab era.
What happened?
That's a good question. Like if you think about last year or the past few seasons where he's played decent.
Mm-hmm.
He's been solid. He's been a little bit above.
Right.
He's been above a game manager. I wouldn't call him a game manager. He's the next level to a game manager. But that drop off, man, I don't know what happened. I don't know. And we obviously know T.J. Yates, who's a solid backup. I don't think he's the true. I'm surprised they didn't go. I thought they would go after Josh Freeman. I thought they would have snatched him up. But you look at T.J. Yates. I don't think he's necessarily the answer. But man, how do you fix Houston? How do you fix Houston?
Man,
right now,
I don't even know. Right now, it looks like right now Matt Schaub's confidence is just gone out the window. It's just completely gone. I mean, I think this has been 3 or 4 pick sixes over the past 4. Yeah, over these past 4 games. That does not bode well for somebody's confidence at all. And I mean, and again, he's giving a lot of people ammo for saying that he might be the weak link that is holding Houston back. A lot of people thought that he probably was the weak link even when they were 11-1 last year, and saying that, well, Schaub, you better not mess this up because you got yourself a good running back, you got yourself Andre Johnson, and you have yourself a pretty good defense out there. Just don't mess things up. And unfortunately, it seems like right now, this is the case here. We could be seeing the beginning of the end of his era in Houston as we know it.
He's horrible. He reminded me of Jake Delhomme back. Like, oh, wait, remember when Delhomme had that great year and he went to the playoffs and all of a sudden he just...
Yeah. I think Panthers fans will never forget about that at all. 5 interceptions.
All of a sudden he just worked. Like one game he thought, he would kind of work out of that. He never did. And it was just like, it's horrible. But yeah, he has 4. Blaine Gabbert has 3 pick sixes. Yeah, those guys are horrible. And it doesn't get any easier for the Giants.
anytime when you're beating Blaine Gabbert in a bad category, things are not looking up for you at all.
No, they are really not. They're not. I think you can tell they're ready for Bridgewater. They're just not looking good at all. That whole draft class. Look, I think Jake Locker just seemed like he was gonna come out of that whole, class.
Mm-hmm.
Died, but now he got hurt. It's like, well, he's out. So, I guess whoever, if you talk division, I guess they'll know who won, but or who will win it. But Indy, they still have a chance. Tennessee still can catch them, although
Right.
I just thought after the Locker injury that it's not going to work. But Houston still can win it all. Obviously, Schaub quits turning the ball over, so it's one of those things that you won't know until the end of the year as far as if Schaub do it. Not be even if you get to the playoffs, I think you're still gonna be doubting it. They're gonna be doubting on this team too, saying that I don't know if he can do it.
Exactly. It's just not looking good so far right now for him, and it's just the main thing right here is Houston's a playoff team, but it's almost getting to that point where they could be one of those teams that could be looking for a quarterback in the first round next year.
And it's the thing about Houston. To me, I would say since they got Schaub, I always saw them as they were one of my sleeper teams. Then they stopped becoming the sleepers and they started becoming the favorite.
Right.
And it's to the point now where people are expecting more than just the first round of the playoffs.
Right.
People expect Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been fortunate enough the last, 2 seasons to get the Bengals.
Yes.
So people are expecting more, and they're not getting that.
Right.
I thought they'd be like the Cardinals. I thought, they'd have those early seasons where they struggle, become the sleeper, then become the favorite. Like Arizona did for a while. Then get to the Super Bowl, and that still hasn't happened. And I'm sure Andre Johnson's like, damn, man, I'm not that young.
I mean, 5 years.
I only have, I mean, just think about it. When people say who's the top 3 receivers now.
Right.
His name might not even come up.
Right.
You'll hear Megatron,
Exactly.
Fitzgerald. Some people say Dez now.
Yeah.
Some people might say AJ Green.
Yeah.
That's how it is now.
It is. So it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. Now, also continuing along with the topic too, and how about the Browns?
Yeah, they're nice to talk about. It's a nice little story, but I mean, people need to slow down a little bit and let's watch the rest of the season go on.
Mm-hmm.
People already saying they're going to win the division and all this nonsense. I mean, Baltimore's beating them, and I think Baltimore has the best chance of anybody winning that division.
Right.
And I think Cincinnati laid a goose egg against them, but Cincinnati's inconsistent as we know.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a good nucleus. They have a good defense. They have pieces certain places, but I'm not going to buy them doing anything special. I think they win maybe 4 more games, and that's it.
I might not even give them that much because of Brandon Wheat.
Right.
Just thought that it'd be a great move there. Again, I don't know. It's Cincinnati's division. How they played a couple last 2 days. They played great. They played like shit. They played great. They feel like stuff again. So it's like after a while, it's like, what? Screw it. We don't know what you guys are doing. Just I don't get the inconsistency here. It kills me sometimes. As far as Flacco and I'll put Dalton in there. It's just those two. I mean, Joe Flacco. Look at the Buffalo game. Like, what the hell is going on? In the Miami game, it's like, okay, you play something like this on your bad game, you'll be fine. I just always thought going into the season, this was Cincinnati's division to lose. And it looked like they're doing a good job of doing that too. So we'll see them.
And also now shifting the focus to a team that was on a bye last week, the Minnesota Vikings. Clarence. They pick up Josh Freeman. Thoughts about that?
Well, I told you guys earlier, the Vikings, to me, I think they picked up Freeman large in part because he's a free agent, and I think they went no other team. It's basically a dibs pick. I think they picked him for dibs. So basically now they have him throughout this season. They can offer him a franchise tag, which, remember, he's already made $11 million this year. So taking the franchise tag plus whatever his base salary would be is probably not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's, holy shit.
I think, in a way, I kind of wanted to see him in Minnesota than the other two teams that he was rumored to be around with, Oakland and I think Buffalo. Because if he would have went to Buffalo, I don't think that after EJ were to come back, he's pretty much sitting on the bench.
I don't think Buffalo was a terrible. I don't know where that story came. I just thought Buffalo was terrible. I just
Right.
If you're telling EJ, look, you're the guy. That to me would be stupid. I think that'd be another move that Shanahan's doing with the Cousins. It's dumb.
Exactly.
I think it's stupid. But primarily, I think one of the big questions now is, does this essentially end the Christian Ponder here in Minnesota? Yes and no. Yes, because obviously Ponder isn't never going to be the guy that most thought he would be. I think Ponder's big issue this year is the fact that he turns the ball. Ponder's not a good quarterback when he turns the ball. He's not good enough to overcome that. He cannot turn the ball. That's my biggest issue, I think, with him. That's why I think one of the reasons why Les will start him this week is because I think Les is going to look back and say that, well, we didn't turn the ball over with Matt Castle, our quarterback last week. So we are going to leave them. We're going to leave them the way it is, as far as that goes, and we'll just try and see what happens. So we'll go ahead and put Christian back in there. We'll see where that goes. And if Ponder goes in and sticks up the joint, we'll about immediately and put in Matt Castle. But you gotta be careful how you play that. I just still think I would go with Castle. Like I said time and time again, Castle could do what our season with Gus Fry did back in 08 and revive it and make it something and come back and win. Keep in mind, Barack won 6 straight games in that series as well before losing on the road. So, those are the two things I look at when it comes to Josh Freeman. I mean, obviously, you can wait until next year and, you'll play him and everything. But I think the Ponder thing is, I heard a lot of people say, well, why the Vikings don't cut Christian Ponder? We're not going to cut him because obviously if he doesn't come back as quarterback at the age he's at and at the age Josh Freeman at, you would want that better than you would have it Castle there at being 31. Although, we'll see what Mike Castle can do. But, that's the only take I can give as far as the Freeman thing. Now, do I like it? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I like it.
And honestly, I feel like it was a decent move. And like I said, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted them to be in Oakland because, well, look at how Terrell Pryor's doing right now. I mean, I know he's not, like you said, top half of the quarterbacks, but he has potential. He's growing. He's doing very well. And he won a game on the other Sunday night football game that not too many people were watching. But I think this was the better situation for him, really. He has himself some pretty good receivers and stuff. Greg Jennings, Jerome Simpson. He has AD. This could be the start of something pretty good. But also, could this rock Christian Ponder's confidence? Who knows? Who really knows?
Well, I think think I said this last year, that benching Ponder would, I think, help out his confidence and make him realize that, hey, look, you are one player away from being yanked out of here permanently. I think by not benching him last year, let him play through it with some of the games he suffered against us. They kind of look at that and say, okay, maybe not that. We don't want to go down the same route. So I think that's what Les is saying. Well, look here, can we sign them both and make a decision later? Yes, because Ponder is actually going in next year. Will be his contract here. So, at this point, maybe some other team decides, okay, we'll take Ponder. If not, Ponder could always stay. If not, he could always stay at the play. Just every time there's a divorce hearing or anything happens to him, there's why outside.
Exactly. So we're just going to go ahead and take ourselves a 30-second break. When we come back, we'll talk about what went on in the college world, and also we'll give you guys our picks for NFL and college, and we'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
Georgia, LSU.
All right, we're right back with the Gafford and Brown Show, and Clarence has stepped away, so it's right now for me and Rob for this point for right now. Going into the college football past week, and I guess we kind of led up to a little bit of it. The Georgia-Tennessee game was much better than what we had expected. Tennessee really gave Georgia a fight in that one.
Yeah, they did. And Tennessee, who's had a down season, they've had some horrible losses to Oregon, Florida, just a bad season in terms of production. And to see them fight that hard against Georgia, an SEC East rival, and come up that short was heartbreaking for them. And, it was pretty unfortunate. Georgia lives to see another day. Right now, they can't afford another loss. If they want to go to the national title game, or if they want to make it to the SEC title game, they really can't afford another loss.
Exactly. I mean, right now, they're pretty much on that next life. I mean, on that pretty much that last life, to say the least, because how many times are you going to go ahead and get lucky is one of those things. Like you said, old boy gets a touchdown. Georgia needs a touchdown to win the game. Or, next thing you know, Tennessee could possibly extend the game here, and it works out to their favor. It's going to be interesting to see what Georgia does. Next week, they have Missouri. And then 3 weeks from now, the game in Jacksonville against Florida. So those two games are going to be right there circled with Georgia. And those two games, they're going to have to go out there and try to win out there. Yeah.
Right.
What do you think their chances are of winning out?
Talking about Georgia?
Well, yeah. Well, until the SEC championship game.
I don't know. They have to play Florida still.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a big game. I need to see the rest of their schedule as well. Right now, the only big game I see is Florida. You never know about Auburn. Auburn could be a sneaky game. Other than that, I don't see anything else stopping them from possibly going to the SEC title game. So we'll see. However, they have to beat Florida. That to me is the biggest roadblock in front of them.
Right.
But you never know, and they got that convincing win over LSU because who knows if something crazy happens. I doubt we get two SEC teams in a championship game, but you never know what can happen sometimes.
That's right. I mean, once again, it's just Georgia's going to have to continue to go out there and try to do their best. Missouri, they've done a very nice job. I think they're still perfect right now. Surprisingly that they are perfect at 5-0. But I think Georgia's going to win that game. Then, like you said, it's going to be Florida. Florida is going to be the biggest test to them this year, because we've seen Florida. They've gotten a little bit better with the new quarterback out there, and also the game is on in the neutral site, and the fans from both schools are pretty much come out there and they pretty much voice their opinions and voice themselves out there in the crowd and stuff. So if Florida trips them up, it's it for them. But Georgia, they survived Florida. Pretty much the rest of that schedule is looking pretty nicely for them to probably try to get themselves go up there into the SEC title game, which is the de facto home game for them in Atlanta. And who knows what could happen out there.
Right.
Now, the other games here that were happening this week too. Notre Dame had a very good win against Arizona State. Did you get a chance to see that one?
No, I didn't see it. However, I've heard about it. Now, what do you think about Notre Dame this season, being that you're somewhat of a Notre Dame fan, you root for them?
It's been up and down. It just seems like this wasn't the 2012-2013 season that they had last year where they were going perfect. Knew that they were pretty much going to have some roadblocks here and there. Michigan was going to be better. Oklahoma's a pretty good team too. But I'd say with them being 4-2 right now at this point, I kind of expected this. I actually did not think they would probably win against Arizona State. I thought they were going to give them a pretty good game, but turned out they won the game. But I think the next few games for them is going to be pretty interesting, because I feel like they have a good chance to sweep through these next few games all the way up to Stanford, which is going to be their hardest test right there. And we'll see what's going to happen when Notre Dame plays against Stanford. Because right now, I don't think Notre Dame beats Stanford.
No, I don't think so neither. I think that's not a close one. It's just it's weird to see that drop off, compared to what they did last year. What do you place it on? What do you think one of the reasons why?
Defense. Normally, some of the players that they had on defense have graduated, especially with Manti Te'o. Say what you want about the guy, but the guy was a good defender, and he was pretty much the anchor of that team. Still got some players like Lewis Nix, who is still a very good defender, but I think last year was just, you had a mobile quarterback in Everett Golston. He's not there with you this year because of dumb stuff that he did. You had a pretty good defense that was a little bit of a senior-laden defense last year. You lose some of that. Now you pretty much you got some guys that are trying to make plays that were second stringers last year and all that. So I think that, that's the reason why we had to drop. That's the reason why they had to drop off. They're still pretty good right now. I mean, 4-2, nothing to really sneeze at. They'll probably still get themselves into a pretty decent bowl game, not a BCS bowl game, but some, of course, with Notre Dame and everything they bring out there to them, some bowl's gonna want them no matter what.
Yeah, they're gonna get a bowl, of course.
So it's just that Tommy Reese, he comes in there, he's thrown a little bit more picks here and there. He's not as mobile as Everett Golston was, but what can you do? I mean, when you unfortunately do bad things, fortunately, that's what happens, and that's what it just turned out to be right there. So, but proud for Notre Dame. It wasn't easy. Arizona State was a pretty good opponent, had themselves a pretty good game, so it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, from there on forward, but I think Notre Dame's going to win their next 5 and probably lose Stanford. So,
right. I can see that.
Now, another game that was also big, too, Ohio State against Northwestern. And Northwestern really gave them every single thing that they could handle, but Ohio State cream rises to the top.
Hell of an effort, but like you said, it didn't pay off.
Exactly. I think at the last part of the game here, I have a feeling that the bettors were kind of mad about this because Northwestern trying to throw the rinky-dink hook and lateral plays. Fumble the ball. Ohio State gets the ball in the end zone. Bet's gone away. It's hard to be better at this point in time. Another game that was also pretty good that kind of lived up a little bit to the hype. Stanford against Washington, and Stanford again showing that they're the best team in the West right now.
Think something better than Oregon?
I would take them against Oregon right now because I feel like that their offense, a little bit more controlled offense than Oregon's fast-paced offense. I think as they've done the last couple of years, Stanford's gotten the better of Oregon, and I think Stanford could probably do it again. How about you?
I still like Oregon more.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oregon's quick pace, the offense, and the defense that they can show that they can get turnovers now. I think Oregon's still the favorite out west for me, and you can't forget about UCLA as well.
Right. Oh yeah, and I just forgot about them actually too. UCLA's been playing very nice football so far this year, and I think that Jim Moore has them going in the right way, really. Another team that we have to also talk about too, Baylor, continuing to put up video game numbers. They had 73 points against West Virginia, and they had 864 total yards. The other crazy thing was they had 56 points by halftime. What do you think about Baylor's offense?
It's cute. It gets the people going, but it's not going to win any BCS titles
Exactly.
or anything else. It's fun to watch, but I just think, when we get to bowl season or anything else, that's probably going to not be much anything else.
Let them get to a tough opponent out
Right.
there, and it's going to be a lot of hell to pay for right here.
And we've seen this movie before, what game, I think, was it last year or the year? It was a bowl game they had against West Virginia. It was a game they had that was crazy. I think it was
West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia.
Yeah.
It was a crazy game, and it's just the same thing. You see it all the time from them, but nothing really comes out of it.
Right. I mean, they looked pretty decent their first 3 games. The downside to this was, sure, you scored 73 points, but you also gave up 42 points in the flip side. You play against a team that can match you right then and there, you might get burnt in this case. Or, like we said, a team that has a pretty decent defense out there, you're going to get burnt. I'm looking at Baylor's schedule right now in front of us. There's a lot of games. There's a few games that probably could be the pitfall for them. I know Kansas State is not as good as everybody predicted them to be, and from the Big 12 winning season that they had last year, but they're a team that can control the ball with the running game. They could do some damage. Oklahoma could definitely do some damage on November the 7th. Texas Tech, they got themselves right back as far as their passing game and everything, their air raid style. They could do that. Oklahoma State could be another one too. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. I just wouldn't say Texas, though, but they're gonna lose one game. They're gonna at least lose probably 2 games, and I might even say go ahead and be on record to say 3 games at least.
Right.
So it's very possible. It's coming, and don't know when, but it is definitely coming sooner or later here in this one. I guess the more of this too, when Texas really survived a crazy game here, where it looked like they really should have lost against Iowa State.
Yeah, we watched that game, and Iowa State, a lot of people can think got screwed out of a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their coach. If you have not got a chance to listen to his rant, I definitely recommend that to you because their coach was beyond mad, and rightfully so, because you had the fumble out there. Didn't look like the whistle was blown in it on time, and that should have been Iowa State's ball. And if it was, Mac Brown is 2-3 instead of 3-2, and pretty much we could be calling for his head right now. Not that everybody else is already going out there and doing so right now.
Right.
Here.
And it definitely was a close call for him in Texas. And now you think about what's next, what's going to happen.
Yeah, like I say, I feel like that he's gonna get the whole year regardless. He's gonna get the chance to finish out the season. Texas is probably gonna make it to a bowl game because they got that. Texas is gonna make it to a bowl game. I think they'll show enough pride to do so. But after this season, I'd say it's pretty much over with. I don't think he gets a chance to coach the bowl game. He might even get a chance to coach the bowl game if it so happens here. But I can't see him going past this year.
No, I think they asked him. I think he steps down. I think he's gonna step down.
Take one of those high positions in the office here, and then pretty much clean out his office for the next guy here. And it's just like we said, it's just gonna be interesting. I know we continue to talk about who's gonna go out there and take the spot. Can't wait to really see if it happens because I don't think Texas is gonna make that turnaround to winning the Big 12 title game, to winning the Big 12 title, and basically thus saving his job. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen, and I really can't wait to see who gets the job and who gets that opportunity to be the next Texas coach, which they're just basically going to need to get somebody young. That's mostly it.
Yeah, and that's probably what's going to happen. Now, what if somehow the stars align and Lane Kiffin becomes the Texas head coach?
Oh, man. The rich get richer. If that's the case, the rich get richer, man. I wouldn't know really what to say about that. So now we'll just go ahead and talk about the games that are coming up this week, and got ourselves a pretty nice one so far. It really none gets no bigger here than Florida LSU games in Death Valley. I know who you're picking. In that one, tell me why Florida wins.
I think Florida wins if they can keep the same game plan they had last year. Last year Florida won in a close game, low scoring game. I think they can do the same this year if they can keep LSU's offense off the field. I also think Florida has a better quarterback. Murphy, to me, is a much better quarterback than Driscoll, and I think he's able to command the offense. He's able to just do more things as a passer and rusher. And I think that helps Florida open up the game plan. But I wouldn't be shocked if LSU won this game.
Right.
They're hot right now. Mettenberger's having a career season. He looks like to be the best quarterback of this draft class.
Right. I think it's going to be LSU, and it's going to be pretty close. It's going to be one of those SEC games here. I think LSU goes ahead and takes it away. Like you said, Mettenberger has himself a pretty good game. He's having himself a pretty good season right now. Cam Cameron's really revitalized him. And I think it's LSU. I would not be surprised if Florida wins this game. Like you say, Murphy's playing a very good. He's doing much better than Driscoll was doing. And unfortunately, you hate to see a kid like that get hurt, but turned out kind of is better for the team and program, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the year. Another game is also happening too, and this game is going to be on Fox Sports 1. Big game out there in Seattle. It's going to be between Oregon and Washington. Who wins that game?
I pick Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. I think is going to get the chance to win that game too. Washington, pretty good team. They showed me a lot against Stanford, but I think anytime when you're dealing with that Oregon offense, they can make teams look foolish at any time. We were talking about Missouri and Georgia earlier. Now's our chance to really get the prediction out here. Missouri, Georgia.
Georgia. Missouri looks. They look better. They finally gotten used to SEC play, but I take Georgia.
Yeah. Missouri.
Georgia's on a mission.
Right. Missouri. I think they're probably a couple of years really trying to compete for that East, but Georgia pretty much it's Georgia, and then I think it's Missouri. So Georgia's pretty much head and shoulders above Missouri in that case. So I think it's going to be them. Oklahoma and Texas. Texas pull off the upset.
Mm. I wouldn't be shocked if they did, but I'm not picking Texas. I'll go LSU. I'll go Oklahoma.
Yeah. OU. I don't think it's going to be 28-point bad, but I think it's going to be at least by, probably two possessions. I'll say about 14 points to really be on the safe side because I don't want it to be that bad for Mac and then have the cries for him being fired even louder. Let's see here. Some more games that are also happening right at this point. I guess we have another big one on Thursday night. That game is going to be with Louisville against Rutgers. Here, does Teddy continue to do it here?
Yeah, I pick Louisville.
Yeah,
I think Louisville's going to win.
Louisville's. Same here. I think Louisville's pretty much. I bet you they can't wait to get to the ACC. But for right now, at least they get a chance to. Why not get ourselves a free BCS bowl bid out of the way? So Louisville's going to get the win here. I feel like in that game as well. Other games that are also happening that are with non-ranked teams here. Pretty good game here between USC and Arizona. First game of the Ed Orgeron era in USC. USC opens that era right up.
I don't know. I haven't seen Arizona play this year.
Really hadn't got a chance to see them really. Let me see. I'll probably go ahead and say USC. Looking at the teams that Arizona has beaten, Northern Arizona, UNLV, UTSA. Yeah, have fun with that. Yeah. I think USC opens that era off right.
I think USC.
Yeah. Let's see here. Any other games out there that are worth mentioning as well? Until we get to the NFL portion of the program. Northwestern against Wisconsin. Does Northwestern bounce back after their loss to Ohio State?
I don't know, because Wisconsin's no pushover. I'm going to take Wisconsin in that one, even though they're not ranked.
Yeah. I kind of want to see Northwestern do well. I'm kind of skeptical about this, though. Games on the road, Wisconsin, their crowd is going to be energized too. Wisconsin is going to win this game, I feel like. Think that's pretty much would do it for us with the college portion of the program. Now let's talk about the NFL picks they were having, and I guess things start off right off the bat here with Thursday night's game, Giants against the Bears. This game is in Chicago. Do the Giants get that first win of the season? Or are just done tired of picking them?
Fuck it, why not? Giants. Shit, I mean, they got to win someday. And Jay Cutler's the quarterback. Who knows? When the wrong color comes out, he could give them easy 3 pick sixes.
Man, I hate to see the Giants be like this. I hated for Coughlin to be 0-5. I hate Eli to go 0-5. I know I give the Giants fans so much hell because guess what? They're in our division. But, I'm going to continue to go ahead and say the Giants are going to go out there and win this game. Why not? I think they'll beat the Bears. Jay Cutler, I'm not the biggest Jay Cutler fan of the world. So, yeah, Giants go out there and win this game, I feel like. Bengals traveling up to Buffalo. And looks like Buffalo Bills, they're going to start Thaddeus Lewis from Duke.
Who I didn't know was that athletic. Watching the highlights.
I didn't know either.
So is this his first year?
I think he's been around for a good time, but I think this is going to be one of his first. If it's not his first start, maybe his second or third. Here, I think though I'll pick the Bengals to win this game. Really, in that case, it's going to be interesting to see what does Lewis have in the tank. But I just feel like the Bengals going to win this game. How about you?
I'll take the Bengals.
Lions against the Browns. Both teams are 3-2. This game is in Cleveland. Does Cleveland win 4 in a row?
No.
Yeah, you're right. Detroit. The Raiders against the Chiefs. This game is in Arrowhead. The rivalries fight back. Who do you think's gonna win that one?
Chiefs.
Yeah. It's gonna be hard to really pick against them. Chiefs. Panthers and Vikings. Both teams are 1-3 right now. Both teams need a win.
I'll take the Panthers. I'll take the Cam and company.
Yeah, Cam blew. I think they did not get the chance to win this last game. Yeah, Panthers win this game here. Steelers and Jets. Games in New York.
I'm taking Jets. I'm taking the Jets. I'm a Geno believer. I'm down with Geno. Vince Young Jr.
I am too. I'm going with the Steelers. I'm going with the Steelers.
They gotta win one.
They gotta. They gotta. And I'm pretty much. I'll just go ahead and say that they'll win this thing. Why not? Eagles, Buccaneers, games in Tampa.
I didn't know that Buccaneers were winless.
Yeah.
Man. I'm going with the Eagles. I don't know who's the backup for Tampa Bay.
That's a good question. That is a very good question, actually. Because Mike Glennon is now the starter. Their backup is Don Orlovsky.
I have no idea who that is.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gonna be Eagles. They'll win the game. I feel like Packers, Ravens, game in Baltimore.
That's gonna be a lot of points. I'm picking Green Bay.
Man, let me go with Baltimore in this game actually. But it's gonna be a game in the a game in the low 30s. I feel like. Rams and Texans. Games in Houston. Do the Texans get off the schneid?
I think they have enough. I think they have enough to beat the Rams. Rams look really bad in a lot of these games. I think they have enough to win.
Yeah. This is what the doctor ordered right here. If Matt Schaub, if they don't pull him, and if he has, I think this will be the game right here to get his confidence right back. Some of the late games right now, Jaguars against Broncos. I'm not even going to ask you who wins this game. I'm just going to ask you how bad this game is going to be.
I think Peyton Manning doesn't finish the game. I think he sits the majority of the third out. I'm going to say 48-3.
Yeah. Oh man. 48-3. I think the Broncos will probably give them 2 points out of spite. Really. 41-2 maybe. I'll go ahead and say 41-2. I'm with you on that though. Manning is not going to finish the game. We're going to see a lot of Brock Osweiler in this game.
Yeah, we get to see if he's worth. Yeah.
We're going to see a lot of him. So, yeah. Titans against the Seahawks.
That's a good one. That's a game that go either way. I'm taking the underdog. I'm going with Tennessee. Tennessee and Seattle. Now it seems impossible, but Tennessee showed that they should have won that game in Houston. Houston has a hostile crowd.
Right.
I'm picking Tennessee.
Man, if and you know what, if Jake Locker was healthy, this would have been the best comeback game for
Yeah.
him. For him being in Seattle, being with Washington and all them, this would have been the best comeback thing. I got Seattle in this game, unfortunately. I just think that behind the 12th man, Seattle's going to get the chance to ride that wave in the crowd. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans go out there and win this game, but Seattle. Saints, Patriots, game is in New England. Of course, we're talking about the Patriots coming back from the loss.
I'm taking the Patriots for the upset. They're in Boxborough. I think Tom Brady gets the swagger back. I don't know. Yeah, I'm taking that.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me, really, because I want to try to. I have the Saints as the number 2 team, and like you said, you want to see the Saints do well. I hate the Patriots. I really hate the Patriots, but their track record when they lose games, they get pissed off and they win games. And yeah, the Patriots gonna go out there and win this game. I got a feeling this one. Cardinals, 49ers, games in San Francisco. It's like the Niners are back. Can they continue it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. Carson looks like he's not the answer right now. He's been throwing a lot of interceptions, a lot of inconsistent play here. Sunday night game. This game is going to be in Dallas between the Cowboys and the Redskins.
I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
Yeah, you already know I'm taking the Cowboys in this game too. But we're gonna see RG3 get a little bit better. He's getting right there, Washington fans. So I would not be mad at all. And I think the bye week probably helped Washington out a whole lot more and helped him out a whole lot more too. Monday Night Football, and we've got a chance to see Andrew Luck on his first Monday night appearance. This game is going to be in San Diego between the Colts and the Chargers. Who wins this game?
I'm gonna take the Colts, but I would not be shocked if San Diego won that game.
Yeah, I'll go with the Colts too. Same reasons too. I think I wouldn't really be shocked if the Chargers win this either. To go 3-3, but yeah, Colts go out there and win this game. I feel like too. So the rundown of our picks looks like we both disagreed upon the Jets and the Steelers. Rob has the Jets. I have the Steelers. The Panthers and Vikings. I think we both agreed on that one. Some of the other, I think, Rob had the Packers. I have the Ravens in this game too. And I think those are the only two that we actually disagree upon. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen for the rest of this week in week 6. And one thing that we actually also forgot too to mention, with a team that's not going to be playing this week, the Atlanta Falcons here, it looks like they're going to lose Julio Jones for the season. Big blow.
That's pretty. That's pretty messed up. I feel bad for them because they've already had a rough start. For them to lose arguably their best player, it's pretty bad.
Right. It just looks like right here that it's just been rough for them. First of all, Roddy White has not been 100%. He hasn't been. He's trying to get there. He hasn't been 100%. Hopefully, when the bye week comes around, he'll get back to being the Roddy White that we know and love. But the one problem is, it's going to be a lot tougher for him because he doesn't have that other guy on the other side that can help him out too. Steven Jackson should be back healthy whenever it comes back. It's just going to be interesting to see what the Falcons do, and I did not expect him to be 1-4 at this point, unlike everybody else.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But can they turn it around, and can they put themselves back in the playoff chase? That's gonna be the other question too. And I gotta think that there's a glimmer of hope that they probably still can do it, but they gotta do it right now.
I hate to cancel the season this fast, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty bad. I mean, considering how the Saints are on already 5-0, you have you guys in the division with everybody else pretty much just stupid except Dallas.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long uphill battle. I say they'll probably get to 500. They'll get to 500. They'll make it interesting. I don't know if playoffs is gonna be right there for them now because you lose Julio, and that's gonna be that's a huge blow for your team. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting right there with that too. Another team that's also going to have a bye week too this week is going to be Miami, and they're definitely going to take that bye week to get themselves back refreshed after losing 2 straight games. So we'll see how both of those teams come right back up from that bye. But we'll go ahead and take ourselves another 30-second break, and when we come back, we're pretty much going to talk about everything else that's also going on in the sports world today too. A lot of stuff that's kind of going on. Baseball playoffs still going on a little bit too. We'll be right back with the Gafford and Brown Show. All right, we're right back with the Gafford and Brown Show, and we're pretty much going to wrap the show off in this case right here. Um, right now, it looks like some other good news that's going on right here. Looks like we're going to have a couple of Game 5s coming along the way in the baseball playoffs. Pittsburgh will be playing against St. Louis tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. 2-2 here. This game's in St. Louis. Who you got winning this game?
I actually like St. Louis' chances.
Yeah, and they're pretty much going to go out there. I feel like they're going to they got their ace. They got the playoff experience. Adam Wainwright is going to face against Garrett Cole, rookie from Pittsburgh. I'll go ahead and just to make things interesting, I kind of want to see Pittsburgh go out there and win this game. I just want to see Pittsburgh come all the way back and continue to do what they're doing out there. And I've been impressed about them. I wanted to see them back in the spot for the longest time. And guess what? I think that they'll go out there. They'll win the game here. It's going to be tough to win it in St. Louis, but I feel like Pittsburgh is going to go out there and win this game. Another team that stayed off elimination today was the Detroit Tigers. They beat the Oakland Athletics 8-6. Their game 5 and their deciding game will be tomorrow. Will not be tomorrow, but it will be Thursday here. Do you think the Tigers are going to win this game in Oakland, or do you think Oakland goes out there and win it?
I think the Tigers win.
Yeah, same here. Same situation as it was last year, really. Oakland, I think Oakland and Detroit were in the game 5. Game was in Oakland. Detroit won the game. Detroit continued to put this on to the World Series. Justin Verlander against Bartolo Colon, which I was kind of shocked that he's still pitching. So yeah, when you got one of the best aces in the game in Verlander, that's pretty much that's pretty much a done deal right there. I think Detroit's gonna go out there and win this game. Right now, as we are speaking here, it is a 0-0 tie between the Red Sox and the Rays. It's gonna be interesting if the Rays win this game. We go back to Boston with a game 5. If they don't, Boston goes out here and they go to the ALCS and they await the winner of the Oakland Detroit series. So that's gonna be interesting right there. Other important things that are also happening in this world of sports today too. Mark Sanchez has season-ending surgery.
The season was over anyway. They're like, go ahead, go on vacation.
Well, you might as well. You're getting paid for it anyway. So, yeah, this Mark Sanchez era is over in New York. It's the Geno Smith era right now.
Pretty much.
That game last night was just amazing, and seeing Geno lead that team coming all the way back again, just amazing.
Yeah. He definitely showed that he's the guy that they need to invest in.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and that's it looks like right now Geno's pretty much gonna save Rex Ryan's job at too.
Pretty much.
So. It's just gonna be interesting to see what the Jets do. I'm not gonna say playoffs quite yet, but there's something. They're certainly making things.
I think they could fight for a wild card.
Right, they're making things interesting. So, it's gonna be interesting for them. I'd say about to be 7 wins probably. About to be 7 or 8 wins out there for them here. So it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen with them. Let's see here. Other things that are also happening as well. Let's see here. Also happening with sports. Let's see. Actually, we can talk about Julio Jones. Washington was also talking about Stanford was faking injuries. I hate this, really, to be honest with you. Let's see here. Tampa Bay loses out in the bid for the 2018 Super Bowl.
That's shocking. They've hosted before, and Tampa Bay usually they go towards warmer areas.
Right. It's gonna be. I was thinking Tampa Bay was at least gonna get it sooner or later here, but looks like right now the cities that is coming down to here, the league announced that Miami and Dallas are also out of contention. So right now
has it been in Dallas yet? Has it been in the new stadium yet?
It's been there. Yeah, it's been there. I think the Packers Steelers. Yeah, that one was there. So the 3 cities here: Indianapolis, Minneapolis, and New Orleans.
Well, New Orleans might get it again, it seems.
Honestly, I think New Orleans should get it again, to be honest with you. The city and vibing and all that stuff. Indianapolis, I don't think they were bad hosts, actually, but I think they had and it was pretty good there. And I'm just one of those people that's kind of like, I want to shy away from cold weather cities. Minneapolis has actually had it once before, and this should be the one where the in the new Viking Stadium here too. And I'm pretty sure that if Clarence was here, I'm pretty sure he'll be saying Minneapolis all the way here. But my pick, New Orleans. How about you?
I'll go with New Orleans.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be that case too. But yeah, it's just gonna be interesting here as well, because right now New York and New Jersey has it this year. Arizona has it in 2015. And I think it's going to be in San Francisco. The Niners, they get it in 2016. Houston gets it in 2017. So we got ourselves a pretty good slate right now of who's going to get it. The Colts, they lose Ahmad Bradshaw to season-ending surgery as well.
That's unfortunate. More carries for Trent Richardson then.
Absolutely. David Wilson, he's going to be out for the Giants with what it seems like a neck injury, and he's going to be out week to week. Here, let's see some more stuff that's also going on too. Looks like here it's just crazy about seeing what's going to happen with the Falcons. Josh Gordon's still on the trading block, and a lot of teams are actually trying to call in here for him. The Falcons are not going to be one of them, though. Here, who do you think is probably going to go out there and get him, or should get him?
New England definitely, but I don't know how that'll go. But
right,
yeah, he definitely could serve well for some team.
I mean, why not? He's young. He's a pretty good receiver out there, and the Browns are out just basically dangling everybody. So, hey, why not throw your head in the ring? Speaking of, too, the Falcons are going to host the regular season game in London in 2014. Here, their opponent, let's see here, have been selected as one of 3 teams to host a regular season game in London's Wembley Stadium. And the Falcons, let's see, the 2 other teams that are also going to host games in the UK, Jacksonville and Oakland. I'm kind of just tired, really, to see this experiment here.
It's not really working.
If at all anything, remember those American Bowls that they had in the preseason?
Yeah.
Like Tokyo and England and
Yeah.
Canada and all of them. Can we just go back to those? Really? Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's better right there. You're taking away a game in the season from a team and a franchise that really needs it. That really could have, extra gate sales and stuff like that too. Here, so we jumped from two games to 3 games next year, and I think it's going to be overkill in that case. Here, it's obviously they're not going to really. Yeah, it's not going to go well with them. It's just not going to go well with them. Tony Gonzalez remains steadfast that 2013 is going to be his last season, and it's really sad.
Yeah, it should be. I'm sure he wish he could get out now.
Yeah, it's just sad that it's just was gonna be like that, but dang, it's just tough, really. Let's see. We got a chance to finally see Dwight Howard as a Rocket in preseason basketball, but your thoughts about preseason basketball anyway?
I don't really get into it because it's just. It's an 82-game season already, so
right.
I'm not really invested in preseason.
Preseason football, yes. I will watch games that are probably not my team in preseason football. Preseason basketball is kind of like, who even cares? I know some people care of wanting to see their team play, but I wasn't even watching the Mavs game against the Pelicans, and I heard the Pelicans won. But with football, we got teams that are trying to make it out there. And I think the chances are greater for some young, unknown player to really, do something very well and then just earn a spot on the team. Basketball, not so much. It could happen, but that's why you also have the D-League too. And I think that kind of makes things a little bit tough as well. Let's see here. It also says right here that we're also looking at some more stuff that's actually happening in this world. Sports, like we said, 3 games in London. Roger Goodell also says playoff expansion is a possibility in 2015.
I don't like it because, I mean, wow, you already have 2 wild card teams. I mean, 8 teams is enough.
Right. Yeah, 12, 6 on both sides. I think that's the best way that you can possibly go right there. Yeah, basically. So, owners are also passing a Hard Knocks rule. They say if no team volunteers to be on Hard Knocks next year, they will pick a team to be on Hard Knocks next year.
That makes it more appealing. You know, it makes it passed around more. Cause we've seen the Bengals on there twice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that makes more sense. I see why. I actually like that. Yeah.
I kind of, at first, earlier today, I'm like, you know what? Why don't we just put Hard Knocks out there to the NFL offices? And I would like to just go out there and see what Goodell does for a day and see what he does actually sitting around and everything. You know, this actually is not a bad idea. Maybe you could give it to some team that hasn't had it once. Let's see, because who's been on Hard Knocks so far? Dolphins, Bengals twice, you said. Jets, Cowboys, Chiefs.
Yeah. That's all I can think of right now.
I mean, if we did have a Hard Knocks here, who would you like to see on there?
I like to see the Saints. Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants would make a good season. Probably a West Coast team like the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see. I think why not have? I don't know. It's interesting. I would think you would have a team. I think the best, from what I've seen, the best Hard Knocks are with the teams that are kind of rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, guys trying to get their job. But I would like to see a contender really
right.
There. You know, or maybe a Super Bowl champion. You know, see what it's like to start the season off.
That's another thing.
Target on your back.
Right. If I could throw some teams out there too, maybe the Raiders. Like I kind of would love to see them on there, just because And I think if it would have been if the late out Davis, if he was still alive, I kind of just would like to see, hear some quotes about him and everything, like, he's a Raider and all that stuff, and throw the ball vertically and everything else like that. Other teams I kind of would like to see: Seattle, Pete Carroll. He's a fun going guy.
Yeah.
Kind of would like to see that. Eagles, especially with the Chip Kelly offense. I would kind of like to see that if he's still around for next season. And there's a lot of teams that you could really probably put out there, but maybe a team that just had just fired his coach, and then they just like you said, start off from the ground up and everything. How about this one for a crazy idea? Jacksonville.
I'm sure they would love it. I mean, attention is better than no attention.
I mean, why else? Why not? Really, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm pretty sure they may fire their coach. I don't know. They'll have the number 1 pick. They have a new quarterback. They have a new regime. Why not breathe life to a new team and stuff, like to a new franchise, and just boom right there, just like that. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what goes up for that. Let's see here. Here's some more stuff that also is happening. And also, the NFL has some flashy new Pro Bowl uniforms. Have you got a chance to see them?
No, I haven't seen them.
Well, here you go. They look bad to me.
Yeah, both Pro Bowl uniforms are pretty ugly. So they got rid of the red and...
Right.
Oh, that's different. I don't get it. They look like Seahawk colors.
They do.
Oh, so no more red, white, and blue, huh?
I guess not. Well, I think what they're trying to do with the Pro Bowl is they're trying to get fans or something like that to pick the teams, kind of like how they do with the NHL All-Star Game, like a fantasy draft. Which I think this is going to be one for another day here too. I think the Pro Bowl's trying to do anything in order to stay relevant, but I don't know if this is the best way. Now, I think if there is one league that needs to have a fantasy draft for their All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game.
You think so?
Why not? I mean, just would kind of like to see the two captains of, two leading vote getters pick their teams here. Kind of would make fun for some interesting scenarios right then and there. I mean, let's say Dwight and LeBron here are going out there and they're picking their teams and stuff. One guy's got to pick Kobe.
That's pretty interesting.
Does the White pick Kobe? Does Kobe want to play for the White? Does LeBron pick Kobe? And all that. And that would be interesting to see. I mean, it's just like this. I mean, everybody else, I guess the players, they want to play with their friends and their teams and stuff like that. For one night. Why not do it?
Right.
Let's see here. So, looks like we're pretty much going to go ahead and say right now that this is pretty much going to be the end of the show right here. As we get ready to come back and all that stuff too, looks like we're gonna try to talk a little bit more about the NBA as the season keeps on.
More so a preview.
Right, preview. I don't think it's probably going to come out next week, but it might come out a little bit before the season begins. I'll say a week before the season begins. The 22nd. Be on the lookout for that. I guess here somebody's just breaking down the odds and seeing who's going to win it. I don't really get caught up too much about it, but you would think the Heat are probably going to be number one here.
Yeah, of course.
13-5 odds.
Spurs are pretty high.
Spurs are high. Thunder's high as well, and also the Bulls are high too. The team with the worst odds, I kind of would like to see as well. Actually, here, the matchups here looks like the matchup that has the best odds. Heat Thunder is 6-1. Then it's Heat Spurs. Then it's Heat Rockets. Then it's Heat Clippers. The Nets, they got them winning the Atlantic. The Heat to win the Southeast. That pretty much an overwhelming bet. So, yeah, like we just said, though, stay on the lookout for our picks. You would not want to miss this. We're going to have it at least a week before the season begins. The season is going to begin on the 29th. So, stay on the lookout for that. Can't wait to see what's going to happen as well with some new storylines and all that stuff, too. So, we'll go ahead and pretty much call it a wrap for our show today. When's going to be our next show?
Probably Thursday night.
This Thursday?
No.
Next Thursday?
Next Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, next Thursday, we'll be right here. Then should be about 8 o'clock the same time. We'll probably also give you guys updates about the game that's going to happen on that Thursday as well. Let me see which game is that. What game that's going to be actually here, because this should be a fun game, I hope. Here, I think, let's see. This week, of course, you had the Giants and the Bears. That week, we have the Seahawks and Cardinals in Arizona.
Cool.
So that should be a decent one, too. So we'll give you guys some updates as well on that. But we'll go ahead and call it a wrap here. Once again, I'd like to thank all the fans for listening to us once again. If you did not get a chance to listen to us live, of course, you can listen to us on our archives as well, or any of our past shows. Also look at our programming from the other shows as well. And listen to, some of our other good hosts as well, too, like from the 3 through JT people. And also from Sports with L. Beasley as well. They're very good people. We'll basically call it a wrap for this show. I'm Lamar Gafford.
I'm Robert Brown.
And that calls it a day right here. Hopefully you'll come back with us again.